Hello everyone, Richard here. Today I want to talk to you about some things that are extremely important in building your business that through time I experienced. As many of you know, I've been building my business now over 10 plus years, and I've learned some hard lessons along the way, and I get questions asked all the time through support for your 8 steps and the GBO Team Builder. Now, both these two programs I co-own and do support for, and my partner Brenda and I work extremely hard at making conversion for these two sites better and better for people, and we are always striving to give you more and to help you along the way in your journey. Now, some of you watching this video may not even have started building a business yet. You may be brand new. Some of you may have tried building your businesses online and are super frustrated. And I'm kind of going to tell you a little story as I go along here, but my first 2 years marketing online, there was one thing that I made a huge mistake with, and that's one of the biggest things I'm going to try to get across here today is I made a huge mistake in not building my list. Now, some people don't quite understand why list building is so important, and it's a huge difference of what it can do for you and actually make you money where it's coming in consistently and you're growing your business and eventually making larger incomes. If you're not building your list, this isn't going to happen. Now, I'm going to kind of explain the difference of list building here and not list building. I have a page open right now, and I'm going to enlarge this for you. Your 8 steps. I'm logged into my back office, and in the back office here, I'm on the affiliate toolbox tab, because one of the questions I get asked all the time is, Richard, what should I be advertising? Should I be advertising my affiliate link for your 8 steps or the GBO Team Builder, or affiliate link for a different program within both of those? And I'm like, the answer to that is no. Not your direct traffic that you're sending. You should never be sending that to an affiliate link. Where you should be sending that traffic is to your squeeze page or your opt-in page to build your list, because the difference is if you're only sending people this affiliate link here, like your 8 steps, mine's number 6, so this is my affiliate link, and here's my page here. Now, this is my direct affiliate link I have open. As you can see, people can just sign up. So let's say somebody comes along, and this is one of the important things about list building and why advertising your main affiliate links to your direct traffic, your cold traffic, is if I'm not interested in this site right at this moment, or I get sidetracked when I see this, I can't just put my email in and then get information later in my email inbox. Basically, if I pass this up right now, you just lost me, because there's no place for me to just add my information. This is a sign-up page, and I can't now sign up because I got sidetracked. I wasn't quite interested yet. I wanted to know more. So now you just lost that traffic, meaning they're gone. Okay? Now, in your 8 steps where I'm logged in here, I'm going to go to path number 1, step number 4 here, and I'm going to scroll down, and we have a complete setup for you to set up the autoresponders we use step by step. We have videos to explain how to do it, but I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here and grab one of these squeeze pages of mine. I already have all mine set up, so I'm just going to grab this one right here. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go over here and open up a new tab and paste it in. See now, if you were advertising this squeeze page here,
hi and welcome to.
Now, if I wanted, I like this, I like what the video was saying, I could just pop in my information here, because here's the opt-in box, and I could hit submit. Now I don't have to deal with this right now. I may get sidetracked, and I may leave my computer, and I'm going to start to receive email messages in my inbox from this person. Well, in this case, it's me, but so now you can follow up with somebody. This is why you send all your traffic, your cold traffic, your solo ad traffic, all the advertising you're doing that isn't to people that you're sending them to this opt-in page, because it's going to capture their email or their name and email, and now you can advertise to them anytime you want. because it's at your fingertips. You go into your autoresponder, like I'm logged in my autoresponder, Pure Leverage. That person's now on my list, and I go into my autoresponder here. I click on the campaign that I want to send a broadcast out to or follow-up message to, and I scroll down here and put in a subject line in the follow-up email, and I put it down here in the text. I mean, this uses a simple editor. Anybody can use an autoresponder. This is not difficult. And I go down here and click add, and then I send out the email. And that email goes out to whatever campaign I've set up or list I choose to send it out to, and they now receive my follow-up messages. So now I can follow up with them. And as long as they remain on my list, they will continue to get any follow-up messages I send. That's what an autoresponder is all about. It works while you are sleeping. You know, I get sign-ups to your 8 Steps, the GVO Team Builder, Pure Leverage, GVO programs within our system and the steps that we have while I'm sleeping, while I'm camping or on vacation. Because my autoresponder works for me 24/7, because you can set up follow-up emails to go out and what's the word? And I can't say it today. Forget it. You set up follow-up letters to go on a certain number of day delay, and those emails go out automatically while you're doing something else. Now, can you see how important that is to building a business online? Because we all get busy in life. We all have things we have to be at, or events, or spend time with family or friends, or go on a vacation, or whatever we do. We're not always home. So if you're not list building, you can't follow up or do anything because you're gone. Some of my autoresponders over time, I have over 400 follow-up emails on them, because I add a couple every day or here and there, and then pretty soon that campaign has 400 follow-up messages in it after, you know, a whole year's gone by. And now I can literally walk away from my business for a year, and they're going to get followed up with for over a year. So I'm going to make money and not even be at my computer at all. A lot of people get stuck on, they think that they need to advertise their main affiliate URL like this one. But that's not the way to do it, because you cannot follow up with people. Now, I'm not saying in certain circumstances I don't throw, you know, I have so many traffic exchange credits and stuff like that, that I don't put some of my main affiliate URLs into rotation for branding purposes, so people brand, you know, get to see your 8 Steps out there all the time. And I do this for us as a group as well, so that your 8 Steps is being branded and people keep seeing it, so that when you're sending a follow-up, if they did come a traffic exchange, they remember it in their head. Oh yeah, I seen that. You know, I seen that. So that's not a bad idea in certain circumstances. You are going to get some direct signups out of it. But where I send 95% of all my traffic, you know, somewhere around that percentage, all goes to my squeeze pages like the one I showed you. And, you know, like this one. And, you know, in your 8 Steps, we give you, you know, free members get these squeeze pages right here. There's 7 of them. Everybody can use them. Pro members are free members. And pro members in your 8 Steps get a bunch of pro squeeze pages. That tab will show up if you're upgraded in your 8 Steps. And then we teach you how to simply set them up. It's just putting in a few numbers in your username, and away you go. You have a whole bunch of squeeze pages at your disposal that are connected all to your GVO Pure Leverage autoresponder. And we actually gave you a squeeze page back here where you can create your own video. You can go on YouTube, make a video, and put in your YouTube video ID, and for that video, put it in, click update, and this squeeze page down here, that is connected to your autoresponder with a video of you talking. How awesome is that? You know, we try to go out of our way to give you stuff that you're not getting everywhere else, and that we arm you with the tools necessary. But the most important thing I can tell you is to be building your list. Even, you know, the GVO Team Builder, you know, in GVO Team Builder, you got your affiliate link back here, your main affiliate link, or you got some splash pages down here. I'm more or less using these splash pages myself, or the splash pages in your 8 steps, because in the affiliate toolbox here we have a ton of splash pages that people can use in advertising material. Basically, those splash pages, that's what I'm sending to my list. And my main affiliate link, that's where you're using them the most, because now that they're on your list, now you're sending that main link to sign up to the program to your list. So that's the process. You get them signed up to your list. They're on your list. They're in your autoresponder. You follow up with them. You send broadcast emails. You're putting your affiliate link in the emails, and that's where you have them sign up. That's where you're advertising your affiliate link. Same thing in the GVO Team Builder. You should be building your list. There's a whole instructions there for building your list. If you're not following your 8 steps, you're only following the GVO Team Builder. For those of you watching this, there's a whole series of steps here to start cranking along building your list. And, that's what we do. That's how we build our business, the exact same way I'm telling you, is we're putting people on our list. This is the difference between making $5 a month online and making $10,000 a month. My first 2 years when I was doing this, I never built my list, and I literally was ready to rip my hair out of my head. I don't have much left, but I wanted to. I wanted to smash my computer in little bitty pieces at times. I was so frustrated. I was like, how are people making all this money? Why am I not? And I was like, there's got to be something that I'm advertising all over the place. I bought advertising. I earned it for free like crazy. I would stay up crazy hours advertising my main affiliate links. And I was like, why am I not making any money? Well, the problem was I couldn't follow up with anybody because I wasn't building my list. And, even sometimes the follow-through process, what it helps is most of the time when I'm in a particular business or program and I've been promoting it since I started building my list years ago, when I finally did, I'm usually one of the highest earners as well. And the reason I am is because I can follow up with my list. See, if you can't follow up with them, it's another reason why, if you're just advertising your main affiliate link and you get 20 signups and nobody's upgraded or done anything, sometimes that's part of the problem too, because you never put them on your list first, or you're not following up with them at all. That's the other thing with list building that is the key to it, is you're following up with people. You have the ability to keep communicating with them and reaching them. Email is still the largest way people communicate online. Even though there's all these social media sites and YouTube and everything, this video will be on YouTube, email is still the largest communication that people use online to, relay information back and forth. Hence why email marketing is still the #1 way you make money online. And I've tried just about everything, and I'm telling you, if you're not list building, you're making a huge mistake. You need an autoresponder. Log into your 8 steps, log into GVO Team Builder, go get signed up on your sponsor in GVO or Peer Leverage, and start building your list. Follow our instructions, and start marketing the right way. That's the next thing I want to say and talk about is that the one thing that I was fortunate about is I had a huge dream that kept me going through those 2 years. I had a whole bunch of bad things happen to me in that time, and before that, where I lost basically everything I owned. I was living in welfare housing. I was bouncing around from job to job trying to better my life because I was doing well before that, and a business failure cost me everything. And it was a business, a brick and mortar business, a retail. I owned a couple of retail stores, and our economy in our local town here just went down the crapper because we're dependent upon the mining industry, and that affected our town hugely. We were in a drought, and when 9/11 happened, and when a brand of stores called Kmart decided to close their stores, our mall basically even today is a barren wasteland. There's very few stores left in it. And a traditional business, you have so much to lose. I had over $100,000 invested in myself, and I had a partner, and it just completely wiped us out. And I had to start completely over, and I wanted something that, why I got into internet marketing, I wanted something that could provide me my dreams and goals and get me back on top and not have the same risk as what a traditional business has that's not online. And that's why I got involved in internet marketing, because I could do it on the side, I could work a job at the same time, and I could work from home. And eventually, through many trials and errors and finally following a system and building my list, that changed my entire life, and gave me the ability to earn money from the comfort of my home, sitting in my pajamas, which I do today. And I sent out an email earlier talking about some of this, and I'm only 43 years old, and I haven't worked a traditional job or anything in years now, and that could have been a lot sooner if I wouldn't have wasted so much time that first 2 years not listening, not following advice, not building my list. I was hard-headed and thought there was a better way, and I'm telling you, there absolutely is not. The only way you're going to be successful online is to follow those who are already successful. And I will tell you this, every person I've ever met that is successful and is making a living online and they're making consistent money, every person is building their list. I have never found a single person in the 10 plus years that is not building their list. Never. That's the difference online, and the difference of, trying to make your dreams and, goals come true. That, the things that you want out of life, you use that to fuel you, to drive you, to keep you going, so that if you are making mistakes like I was and being stubborn like I was and thought I could do it some other way, that is what drives you through. That's what gets you, going towards your dreams and goals. It's the difference between, owning a house like this, in this picture. This could be a really nice house. It's old, it needs work, and having the money to fix it up and turn it into something that you want. Having that dream out there of that you want your life to be better, that you want to give your family everything that you possibly can, or you just want to have time to enjoy the things that you love to do. Maybe you enjoy woodworking, maybe you enjoy working on homes or beautifying your yard or having barbecues or whatever. That's the kind of thing that internet marketing can provide for you. Especially, you're working another job and you're building your business the right way, you're building your list and things are starting to happen, you're making money, and now all of a sudden you have dual incomes. Now, can you imagine for a moment how that changes your life when you have dual incomes coming in? Now, maybe you're married too, or your spouse is working, and you actually have 3 incomes, and one of them you're earning comfortably from home. Your whole life changes. Pretty soon, every possibility out there that you can think of is at your fingertips. And, that's, maybe you want a nice brand new home like this one in the photo here. Maybe this is what you really would love to have. Something that you're free from stress of it falling down, or roof's going to go, or if you need a new roof, you can just pay somebody to do it. Whatever it may be, having those things that drive you and fuel you to, have the life that you desire. And, this may not be it. I mean, maybe you want a log home. Maybe, something like a log home out in the woods, and just having the freedom and time to be able to enjoy it and have a hot tub like in this picture and actually have something in life that you truly wanted. Maybe this is what you've dreamed about since you were a little kid. You loved log home and you wanted to live out in the woods and go hunting or fishing and live off the land and just spend time with your family or by yourself and have the peace and quiet and the freedom away from a city, because that's not what you enjoy. Maybe this is something, that will drive you, that you can picture yourself, you and your family being out here, and this is what you really want. These are the kind of things that throughout the whole time of me struggling that first 2 years that I kept looking at and kept pictured in my head and kept in front of me on my computer was everything that I wanted to accomplish, or to change my life, to not struggle anymore, to not have those ups and valleys in life and not live on borrowed credit. That's basically borrowed time. Just like me, when I lost my traditional business, my retail stores, that wiped me out because I was heavily invested into it. My home was connected into it, everything. I had to mortgage my home to the hilt to do that. And so when my store went down, I lost everything. I wasn't planning my financial future, like, being smart. You're working online, you're working your job at the same time. As you start to build another income, you start to pay off all your debt. You don't have all. It's amazing the stress that will leave your life when money. They say money's the root of all evil, and no, I think the lack of money is the root of all evil, because people that have lack of money are sure willing to do the damnedest things to get it. Steal, rob, kill. Unfortunately, in the life that we live, money is something that you have to have in order to survive. It's just one of those things. So in your pursuit of it, the best thing that you can do is, pay off all your debt, get debt free. It changes how you have to live, or the way you have to live when you have no debt. I can remember the greatest feeling when, in this next photo here, well, not this one, but it changes the scope of your life when you no longer have to worry about the traditional things like, where is my money going to come from for heat? I live in a place where it gets 20 to 50 below. This past year, it was almost 2 months straight. And, the heat bills, if I had to worry about them, it would be a big problem trying to pay, because I have a really big house. And if I wasn't doing well, it would be a real serious problem of trying to pay my heat bills if I, wasn't doing well and hadn't pursued internet marketing. Because I can remember years past trying to pay my heat bills when I did not live my life the smartest and wasn't paying off all my debt, and living a life that I was pursuing specific goals and dreams that helped set me free. And maybe you just want to farm. Maybe you would just like to go live off the land somewhere else and have a sprawling acreage and have horses and live your life and have a garden and live in the backcountry. Any of these things you got to use to fuel where you want to go and to do the right things and to listen and to follow a system. Is this all going to happen overnight? For most people, no. Does it sometimes for some? Yes, there are some people who really put the time, money, and energy into internet marketing that can make it happen extremely fast. There's some success stories of people that I've met and talked to that in a year's time that were making huge amounts of money, and I'm talking huge amounts of money. I wasn't one of those lightning fast people. It took me time. Like I said, screwing up the first 2 years, that really cost me. But this doesn't have to be a 10-year plan. This doesn't have to be, with the programs out there today like Pure Leverage, and the amount of money can be made from Pure Leverage, when you really start to understand the, building your list the correct way and following through and learning that process, it's really amazing what people can do, and what I see some very young people come on and do and make an astronomical amount of money very quickly. And one of the greatest feelings for me was being able to. I used to have this blue car here. I used to have an old white car. This white car I was patching together all the time. It basically had like 280,000 miles on it, and I just kept piecing it together. I was constantly working on it. It would constantly break down, but I kept driving it because I kept justifying, well, it's okay, I don't have no bill in the car anymore, so it's fine, but it was costing me an arm and a leg and time and money, and that took away from spending time with my family or doing things too, because I had to get to work and it would be 20 below zero and the car would break down, and I'd have to go lay underneath of it and fix it so I could get to work or repair something. And actually the spark plug used to pop right out of the cylinder. It would like rip out. And I would take JB Weld. I had already threaded the inside of the cylinder for the plug and tried that several times. Excuse me. And that lasted a while and the spark plug flew out again. So I even JB Welded it in there. JB Weld is a glue-like product that turns into cement basically. And that lasted for a while. And the greatest feeling was when, I was able to take my wife and we were able to get in that junk white car, and we drove to a dealership and paid cash for 2 brand new cars. And what a different feeling from hoping that you're going to get the loan because your income to debt ratio isn't too high, or that you're disqualified for some reason, your credit scores. What a great feeling to walk in there, and when they say, well, how do you want to finance this? Well, I don't want to finance it. And they're like, what? Because they really don't see that, all that often. And they're like, what do you mean you don't want to finance? Well, because I'm going to pay cash for it. Oh, okay. Oh, they're like in shock. And then when I said, well, I'm not going to buy just one of these, I'm going to buy 2 of them, they were in real culture shock. And can you imagine that feeling that, you and your spouse go down to a car dealership, and instead of picking out the cheapest, smallest car you can find because you can't afford anything else and you have no choices available to you, and you buy something with 50,000 miles on it or 100,000 miles on it already, that you can actually choose what you want to buy based on what you want in a car, whether it's a small car, brand new car, but you actually can choose, because you don't have to look for financing. You don't have to, nothing's limiting you anymore. The stress that leaves your head in decision making is incredible. Maybe you want a fancy car like this one in the photo. Maybe you want a fancy sports car. Maybe this is a dream of yours. You've always wanted this one car. Well, that's what internet marketing can do in building your list. If you're not building your list, this car will never be a reality. You'll be stuck with the car like this, or whatever your job can afford, and have a big mortgage payment on it. See, I would never buy a car like this if I had to have a mortgage on it, no matter how much money I make. I wouldn't want a car like this with a huge payment, because that's stress, and that's my dream in life, because I've gone through tons of stress in my life. When I was mortgaged to the hilt with my retail stores, that drove me insane. Every day, I was, in my head, was headaches, battling my pain from the knowing that at any moment I could crash and burn. And it's the same thing with my house. I added on to my house when I had the money. I redid my house when I had the money. I waited because I did not want to end up with a huge bunch of loans and debt. And we live in a now society where everybody's always trying to get everything they want, and they don't care how they get it. They're going to mortgage themselves to the hilt, and it causes, in the United States, we have record amounts of bankruptcies because of this type of lifestyle. To me, internet marketing is all about setting you free. It's all about paying off everything you own, and then that freedom inside of you to do what you want. There is no, make a decision between, well, I want to bring my kids to the show tonight. I don't have any money right now. I'm going to put it on my credit card. There is no more of that. That used to drive me nuts alone. Just wanting to go to the show with my kids and go sit and have popcorn and pop and just go enjoy ourselves and laugh. And sometimes I couldn't do it. They'd ask because they wanted to see a movie, but I didn't have the money. I don't know if anyone listening to this can relate to that, but I didn't have the money. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It was the worst feeling in the world. Something as simple as going to the show. Because everything costs money. So money takes away the stress of those decisions and gives you the ability to finally give and do the things that you want. Whether it's maybe you want to give money away to people. Maybe you want to help them. One of the things that I wanted to do was, when I made enough money, I wanted to be able to do random acts of kindness, where you're in a grocery store line and somebody is paying for the groceries, and you just pay for the groceries instead. Just random acts of kindness. This world would be a much better place if people could do such things and have that in their heart to want to. And it's okay to want big things and everything like that. And I'm just, I'm always trying to teach, and being financially free and paying off everything before you make a big purchase or change your lifestyle is the most important thing you can do, but you use all these things to fuel you, these dreams that you have or wants or the things that you would just love to have or do. This was what it was like for me. In this photo was me and my wife going to the dealership and buying 2 brand new vehicles. They're basically twins. And we went down there and bought them. Ours are just one's red, one's silver. And that was what we were able to do. And I tell you, it's no better feeling. If you do things correctly, you follow our advice, you actually get upgraded, you understand that in marketing, you're not going to make any money trying to do everything for free. That's, bite the bullet, start building your list, get upgraded in your 8 steps, get upgraded in, Pure Leverage, GVO, and go for it. Start doing the things necessary. These things will never become a reality for you if you think you're going to win the lottery. That's what trying to build an internet business online for free, that's what they're banking on. When you're trying to do it for free, they're banking on this is the lottery. They're somehow going to win the lottery. And I'm telling you right now, that is not going to happen. Again, I've never met a single solitary person that hasn't invested money into their business. I've never met anyone that has built an internet business for free. It's never happened. It can't happen because money has to change hands in order for people to make money. You can't go to McDonald's and go, I'd like a McDonald's hamburger and fries and pop, and my kids and family would too, and by the way, we don't want to pay for it. Well, there would be no workers there because they could not get paid. It's the same thing with websites. Websites cost money, bandwidth, memory, they're on servers, they cost a monthly fee, maintenance, images, scripts, all this stuff costs money. Time, time is the biggest thing. I don't want to sit behind my computer for 20 hours a week to not get paid. That's why these things are not free. Sometimes people have asked me, well, why can't we make money? You first let us get upgraded, and then we'll pay you once we make money. Because again, you can't get money from nothing. It's impossible. If people did that with everybody, there would be no internet businesses because nobody would have started one because they cost money to start. It's impossible. So if you're waiting for that magical moment to get started in internet marketing for free, and somehow you're going to hit this home run by not costing you anything, and then you're going to join this magic cycler that you put $10 in and it's going to cycle and you're going to make all this money, you will not. It does not happen that way. And most of those programs are illegal that even try to promote that it can happen. And I've known people who have gotten involved with them and got burnt like you would not believe. There's no such thing. I want you to understand that internet marketing is one of the most awesome ways to build a lifestyle. One of the most awesome ways I've ever seen. In fact, it is the most awesome way I've ever seen. Owning a traditional business like my retail stores or a manufacturing company, oh my God, the headaches that you have compared to online marketing. I'm not saying online marketing doesn't have its ups and downs or its challenges, but this is so much easier, and the lifestyle that it can give you is such that it is unreal. And talking about what we accomplished, and me and my wife being able to buy these 2 vehicles at paying cash for them, a lot of the things that drive people to, that drove me was family orientated things. Like this picture here is so beautiful that just being able to take your family on vacation and bring them to the places that you would love to go. There's a whole world out there, a whole world. But in the beginning of my early life with having children, I was never able to take my kids on vacation. Number one, I didn't have the time. And number two, I didn't have the money, because you got to have money when you go there. I was constantly working. For years, I never even took a vacation from my job because I wanted to bank up the time to save for later, because I figured later in life that's when everybody says, oh, your golden years. Well, it doesn't have to be just your golden years that you can do this kind of stuff. Wouldn't you love to just take your family on vacation 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year? Be able to go to the places that you want to go see, explore some of the world that we live in. I live in a small town that has nothing And to go anywhere cool or go even to these places to eat where you can eat food from other places of the world or anything like that, we have to travel a long ways. Because let me tell you, we live in a population of a town of about 600 to 1,000 people. I don't remember what the last count here was. And then the next town over, which is 4 miles away, that has a population of 16,000. We're actually included in on that population. And we have nothing. There's nothing hardly to do. We have a few mom and pop restaurants and maybe one chain restaurant. And other than that, it's all fast food. We just have a couple regular restaurants, and we basically have a town that has only fast food in it. And that stuff's not even good for you, let alone, the things that you can experience life when your life is different because you went after something and you got motivated and you actually took action. Yeah, it's not, like I said, for a lot of you, it's not going to be overnight. Some of you, it may, if you finally decide and something turns that light bulb on in your head and you go, you know what, I'm going to go do this. I want a different life. That's what I did. That's what kept me going. That's what made me through that 2 years of not listening, not paying attention, not building my list, being foolish. That's what got me through, was all these things, just being able to, ride on a yacht, let alone even the thought of buying one would have been a foregone conclusion when in my old life. But not anymore. You got to understand that wherever you're at in life, you're going to have all kinds of different goals and dreams, or just being able to do something, like I said, as simple as going to the show and not having to think twice about it to bring your kids to it. Or maybe something as simple as going camping like this and sitting around with your family or friends and just enjoying the outdoors and the tranquility and the peacefulness and the stress-free environment. Because for me, camping was a godsend. I used to love to go camping because it took me away. It was the one place I would never stress out and never worry. I would actually be able to relax. And I love the outdoors. I love simple things like this. For me, this was a huge thing to not, camping takes money. You need a tent, you need food, you need stuff to be able to do it. You need the time. Time is a big thing with all these things I'm talking about. You can have all the things in the world. You can be a doctor making huge money. You can be whatever. You can be I'm talking about professions that take up all your time. And yeah, you can have money. If you're a doctor listening to this this video, time may be the thing that really floats your boat. And internet marketing can make, like I said, enough money to buy your time back. That's what you're doing. You're buying your time back. Because you can make so much money, you can totally replace what you do. And then. That's the amazing part about it. But you're not going to get there, like I said, if you don't follow a system. You don't learn the process. Internet marketing to make money is a simple process. I'm going to tell you the biggest reasons people fail is because they don't follow that process. Number one, the majority of people refuse to build their list. Number two, they refuse to follow a system or a process and learn it. They still think that they can do everything on their own and just, magic's going to happen. And the best way to be successful online is to model what somebody else has already done. To model somebody who is successful, to model what they're doing exactly, and to have a system that's already done for you so that you can take off on the ground running without having to learn everything to get everything connected. But you must be willing to listen. You must be willing to follow instructions. And you must be willing to invest in your business. Because trying to build one for free, like I've explained to you, it's basic economics. Money doesn't change hands. Nobody makes any money. It's impossible. There would not be internet marketing at all if that was the case, if you could do all this for free. You're not going to win the lottery. Now, if you follow the process and do everything and keep building your business and don't let obstacles get in your way, when the money starts coming in, it'll start to feel like you won the lottery because the money keeps coming in when you build your business right. A lot of what I've built up over the years is residual. This money, I make sure in my marketing to choose programs that are going to pay me residual. Sometimes for some people they may seem harder or longer to build, But residual income, when you teach people how to use the tools that you absolutely need to be successful online, like GVO, web hosting, pure leverage, autoresponders for GVO, and web conferencing, these are the three big things that you need online that are highly consumable, that people use all the time over and over again. I've been in GVO for years. I've been in Pure Leverage ever since it launched. I'm not going to quit them because I need their products. I need their products to make money, period. I've had my websites hosted with them. Web hosting is one of the most residual nature type products, because once somebody puts up a website, they tend not to ever take them down. So can you imagine that somebody's collected commissions off me for years without ever having to do another thing? See, that's the thing. You got to build your business smartly. You can sell products that have a one-time cost or something to them, and you sell a product, make some cash to drive your business. That's fine. But you need to be somewhere in there, as far as I'm concerned, building a residual nature to it, or where you're making money on the back end of something, just not the front end. Because if you don't, then you're constantly still put in the position of always having to make sure that you're making product sales. See, I like the fact about building an organization of people that has other leaders in it, that take off going and running and building their business, because your income is residual. You can walk away for long periods of time and your money will still keep coming in like clockwork. That's what I love about products that are highly consumable. And web hosting, autoresponders, they're highly consumable, because I can't build my business without building a list. It doesn't work. So I need that product. I need web hosting. I have sites hosted and blogs that I have hosted. They make me money. I need those products. It's not that I want them. I need them. Without them, I can't make money. These are why they are at the forefront of the GVO Team Builder and your 8 steps, because they're highly consumable. Now, this video is getting long, but I really wanted to hammer home the point about, building your email list. This is where all your traffic should go to, and you send affiliate links in your emails to your list. Then they can join from there. That's where you follow up with them. That's how a lot of times people get information overload online, because they're like, how do I promote this? How do I promote that? How do I promote that? How do I promote all these things? I'm involved in several things, but how do I promote them all? You don't. You build your list. Because when you build your list, you can promote anything to your list. Most people develop several income streams online, like myself. So what I promote to my list are GVO, Pure Leverage, your 8 steps, the GVO Team Builder, and programs within there right now. And that's what I stay focused on, because it helps the people that I'm following through to not get confused, because I'm promoting to them what I'm doing and using. I'm not going on tangents. I'm not going looking after new shiny diamonds or anything like that. I keep focused and try to help people stay focused and keep building my list. And I promote to my list the programs that I'm using to make money. That's how you simplify the process. I remember when I first figured that out, I went, whew, wow, what a relief. Now I see how you do it. You focus all your time, energy building your list. Yeah, so the thing that you're building is squeeze pages, or using the done-for-you ones that we give you, or you're, like I said, you're making your own, and you're focusing on numbers of people that you're putting on your list, because you have people to follow up with. And that's the only push-button profits online, is email marketing. Because once your list is built to a certain amount of numbers, you literally can just hit send, and you're going to get signups, and you're going to make commissions. That's what push-button marketing is. That's what automation is building a list. That's automation. That becomes your #1 advertising source over time, where you're going to get the most signups and everything. Because all your other traffic is, that's the process. You build traffic, it builds your list. Your list builds your income, commissions, and referrals and sales. And that's the process. You use all your traffic to build your list. Your list you put into your main funnels and programs that are going to make you referrals and commissions. in sales, and that's the process. You don't try to build a whole bunch of different things at one time. You don't run around advertising affiliate links all over the map. You're advertising your squeeze pages, your opt-in pages to build your list. It's simple. It's super simple. Now just remember that. Don't get sidewind and start following all kinds of shiny diamonds. Focus on what you want. For those of you who haven't gotten started, get started. You're never going to have these things we've been talking about. Your lifestyle's never going to change. You're never going to experience nothing new if you sit on the sidelines and watch. You have to get off your butt. You have to get moving. And I hope that, what we've talked about here today, I hope this motivates you to get off of your butt and to go after what you want out of your life. Because it can be totally different. You don't have to live your life the way you are right now if you don't like it. You don't have to. But it's up to you to change it. Not up to me. We can give you everything on a silver plate. But until you take action and actually use those things and get around the obstacles that come in your way yourself. When I first got started, there was not all these people out there to help me. There was not. The communication wasn't there. The instant stuff like you got with Skype and Yahoo Messenger and Facebook and Twitter and all this stuff. None of that stuff existed. To find somebody to model back then was damn near impossible. There wasn't all these coaching courses, and none of that stuff existed when I first got started. None of it. So it was basically trying to figure out it all on your own. Now you got speed. You got speed with these done-for-you systems. That's how people today are, some of them walking into this stuff and making like ridiculous amounts of money in a very short period of time, because there's all these other tools to help them. They jump right away, start building their list, and then there's all these other tools to help them. They can post photos instantly with these cameras nowadays and text. There's mobile marketing. There's all kinds of ways to use all this technology to help you build your list 10 times as fast and to be able to use it. All these social media sites, great for building your list. Awesome. I didn't have access to none of that. It was basically at a few avenues of marketing, and that was about it. And piecing together a system, you would have had to learn that on your own and figure it out, unless you stumbled across somebody who was, making good money and they had a system available for you to use, which was extremely rare. So I'm telling you, please, just go out there and focus on what you want. Get started doing the right things. Move along in your business, and don't let things get in your way. Otherwise, there's no point in starting. If you're going to let stuff get in your way, there is no point in you starting. I made a commitment when I first got going that no matter what, I was going to make this work. I seen what it was doing for people. I seen the ridiculous amounts of money people were making. I seen them having time to be able to do things they wanted. All those things drove me. And my ex-wife laughed at me because she thought it was foolish that I was sitting on the internet in my spare time after I work or whatever to try doing this. She thought I was actually crazy. That will never work. It's a scam, blah, blah. I said, no, it's not. I said, I'm going to do this no matter what. If it takes me 25 years, I'm going to do this. That's the kind of decision you have to make, because otherwise there's no point in getting started. Don't think, if you're expecting that, like when somebody sends me an email and they say, Rick, can you tell me how much time it's going to take me to make $500 extra a month? I completely honest with them, and I tell them, absolutely not. I cannot tell you that. Because I don't know how much time you're going to devote to this. I don't know how much money you're going to put into it. A lot of people who ask me that question aren't willing to put any money into it. And what they're looking for is a quick fix to their problems in life. Those are the people that it's going to take the longest usually, because they don't have the right mindset. See, the people that want the big bucks and they want to make it happen fast, they got the mindset. They come into this and they're like, okay, what do I do? Okay, sign up, start, building your list. Sign up to Pure Leverage. Okay, done. Now connect your squeeze. Done. Got them done. Now where do I buy traffic from? Okay, go here, and go here. Okay, done. Now how do I get more? Go do this, this, and this. Okay, I'm done. I'm doing it. And that's all they do. They know that they're going to make it. They're just going to plow forward and get there. They're not going to let anything get in their way. In fact, they're going to run over the obstacles. See, that's the kind of mindset you need to have to get your dreams and goals, is when an obstacle presents itself, you need to run right over it. Or hop over it, whatever. You need to plow forward. There's many times there's things that have popped up, or just I could have cried over or got in my way, that I could have just quit along the way. that were frustrating, and I didn't. I just kept going. You just got to keep going. And sometimes that's when you're one step away from changing your entire life. Is you have one obstacle that's sitting in front of you, and that obstacle is preventing you from your full potential of what you really could do with this thing. And that's it. Sometimes it's one little tiny thing, and you can't get yourself over it, and it holds you back from getting to that next goal or getting you to where you really want to be. And just remember that, in all of this, in life, living life, it's the journey. Success is the journey. It's not the final destination. It's not when you get somewhere you finally go, I'm here. You have to enjoy the journey along the way. That is the difference between having a miserable life and enjoying your life, as you learn to be happy no matter what kind of obstacles you do have, what kind of problems, what kind of situations pop up to you, that you learn to be happy along the way. That is the key to success. You still have a life to live. You still have a family. You still have friends. Learning to be happy and to, bless other people's lives, to not take from them. And, that's what we're all about with your 8 steps and the GBO Team Builder, is trying to, help people along their journey. So that's about it. And I, want the best for each and every one of you that ever watched this or listened to it. And I just please hope you take what I said seriously, because I really want you to, change your life and be able to do the things that we talked about in this video. And other than that, we will talk to you again in another video or in a webinar, and have a great day.